Junpei, Clover, and Lotus leapt out of the laboratory, slamming the door shut behind them.
Whew, thank God we got out of there.
So what if the ship burns down? Whatever. There's plenty of water in it to put it out.
Yeah, finally.
Oh, yeah.
All three collapsed against the wall, breathing heavily. Junpei's heart was pounding in his chest, and his whole body felt weak. He inhaled gulps of clean air, and with each one he could feel his body begin to calm down.
All right, let's go.
I had a similar circumstance once, where I was exposed to a lot of smoke. When I was up in graduate school living in Chicago, I had a friend over one night, and, we were enjoying our company, watching some funny clips of videos and stuff, and having a couple drinks. And then he put a pizza that I had picked up in the oven, turned it on to cook it, and then he told me he turned it off, and I ended up going to bed because I was just too tired to deal with anything. And then in the morning, my whole apartment was just full of smoke, and I had a horrible, horrible headache the rest of the day. I could have seriously have burned down the entire building. I got lucky with that. Anyway. They nodded to each other and started off down the hallway. Before long, they found a few new doors, but all of them were locked.
Damn, none of these open. They're all locked.
How about that one?
Final door sat in a corner of the hallway.
Let's hope this is the door with the prize.
Doesn't this door look kind of familiar to anyone? Junpei grabbed the door handle and was about to pull it open when a voice cried out behind him. It was neither Clover nor Lotus, but he recognized it. There was no doubt the voice belonged to...
Jumpy!
Huh?
He spun around. There, at the other end of the hall, Junpei saw human figures running toward him. 3 of them.
June?
Reunited, and it feels so good.
Santa! 7!
They stopped short in front of Junpei and his companions, gasping for air.
Hey, what are you guys doing here?
What? But we didn't...
Before he could finish, Clover spoke.
Hey guys, could you come take a look at this?
She was standing near the end of a small hallway that branched off to the right. The rest of them ran over to her, curious as to what she'd found.
Hey, on the wall.
A map of the ship's interior?
It says C deck.
So it's the map for this floor, then?
Ah, another map.
Door 7. And... Door 8. Yep, they both eventually end up at this hallway.
In fact...
Yeah, isn't that what I said?
Yeah,
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9.
true.
We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9.
That's right.
That's how the nonary game works.
You seemed very confident when you said that. Junpei looked at the map of the ship's interior yet again.
Wait a sec. This leads to...
You got it. As he looked more closely, his surprise and excitement gave way to weariness.
Oh,
You've got to be kidding me.
One by one, the others saw what he'd seen.
We may as well go.
yeah.
As one, they all moved back toward the door Junpei had only a moment ago been ready to open.
Oh, almost forgot. We should keep this.
He pulled the map of the ship's interior off the wall, put it in his pocket, and followed the others. Those are some big pockets. The 6 of them stood in front of the door, arrayed in a semicircle. Santa stepped forward. He took hold of the door and spoke, without looking back at the other 5.
Ready? I'm gonna open it.
They nodded their silent assent. With a deep breath, Santa threw open the door. They poured through the doorway and into the room. Even without looking around, each one of them knew where they were.
I knew it.
They were just where the map had said they would be.
We're back.
In this room again.
In the hospital room.
Yay.
I see. I believe I understand what you're saying. The 6 of you split into 2 teams and went through doors 7 and 8. You solved the puzzles in the operating room and the laboratory. And then met one another in the hallway after opening your respective locked doors.
He looked like anyone might after only just waking up, but it seemed that his brain was working as well as ever. He had managed to grasp, summarize, and understand each team's report.
At any rate, I feel a bit silly for my little show of altruism. I know I said I was sure you'd come back for me. I didn't think it would happen so soon, though.
Ace shook his head with a rueful smile.
Well, we saw each other again and we ain't dead, so I say that's good enough.
I agree. Seven smiled.
Anyway, I say we get out of this creepy old place.
Mm-hmm.
We found the key we need.
The key?
Ain't that what I just said? I'm talking about the Jupiter key. We found it in the operating room. Here.
Seven tossed something small and metallic toward Junpei.
Whoa.
Nice catch.
Jeez.
He caught it and found that the object was a key.
I see. So this is Jupiter.
On it, someone had engraved a symbol very similar to a 4. I was seeing 21, actually. But I can see it looks like a 4. He looked over at June, who nodded back. It had to be the Jupiter symbol.
I'm gonna let you hold on to that, alright?
Boy, you're trusting. Thank you.
Yeah, on it.
Junpei tucked the new key into his pocket.
So how many unused keys do we have now?
There's the Earth key
Earth
we found
key.
in the laboratory. The Saturn key card we found in the kitchen.
Saturn keycard from the kitchen.
And the Jupiter key you just gave me.
Jupiter key. Junpei tucked the new keys into his pocket. June spoke up.
The Jupiter key is supposed to be for the door at the end of that long, straight hallway, right?
Yeah. If the map's right, then it connects to the central staircase. Then, next to the stairs...
Wait!
They were the first words anyone had heard out of Clover in quite some time. You know, it's not very polite to point. Her face suggested they weren't going to be very happy words.
What about door 3?
Look, you saw the map, right? It's the same as 7 and 8. It just lead us back to the big hospital room. There's no point to seeing what's on the other side of that door.
There is a point. At least there is for me.
Clover, you don't want to see that. You definitely don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. There were tears in her eyes, but she glared at Seven as hard as she could, just the same. She looked very much like a frightened puppy. There wasn't a man alive who could have resisted those eyes. Seven looked everywhere in the room except at Clover, and muttered and coughed apologies under his breath.
Yeah, you're right, I'm sorry. Snake might be on the other side of door 3.
Oh yes, he definitely is on the other side of door 3. The next person to speak was Ace.
Very well. I'll be coming with you then. I've had a nice long rest. I think it's time I was up and about again. So 7, you'll help me, won't you?
Huh? Me?
Help you? Oh, with the door. Sorry. Junpei did the calculations quickly in his head. 4 plus 1 plus 7 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. It looked like 7 was doing them too. At last, he gave up.
Damn. Well, I guess that's how it's gotta be. So I'm going with you, huh?
Yes, you are.
All right, let's get moving.
And so it was decided that Clover, Ace, and 7 would discover what lay beyond door 3.
Okay, we're heading out.
Be careful.
Whoa. Didn't think I'd be hearing that from you, Lotus.
Don't let it go to your head. I'd be in trouble if the 3 of you bought it. The rest of us can't open the 9 door.
Ah, the truth comes out.
Seven nodded as if this answer made much more sense, and pulled the lever on the red.
Okay, we're off.
The door opened, and Ace, Clover, and 7 jumped through it. Six, 7, 8, 9. After exactly 9 seconds, the door closed noisily.
All right, we should get moving too.
Huh?
Get moving.
Where are we going?
Everyone except Lotus seemed rather confused.
Well, it would be a waste of time to just sit around, wouldn't it? Let me explain.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna see if we can get anywhere interesting with the Jupiter key.
Yes. If we're lucky, we might find Snake.
And here's the Jupiter symbol on the keyhole.
All right, Junpei, open it if you please.
Yeah, on it.
Ma'am, yes, ma'am. Junpei pulled the Jupiter key out of his pocket and slid it into the keyhole. He twisted. With a nice sharp click, he felt the door unlock. Junpei sucked in a breath, held it, and opened the door as quietly as he could. And we're back here? Ugh. Inside was exactly what he expected to see. From the map of the ship's interior. They were in a tremendous hall, almost like a ballroom, with a massive central staircase.
Great, back to the beginning. You sure this is a good idea?
What do you mean?
Well, we already searched every inch of this room, didn't we? I'm asking you if there's any reason we came back here.
Yes, there is.
Of course there's a reason. Man, sometimes I can't tell if you're smart or just lucky.
Huh?
This.
Junpei pulled 2 things out of his pockets.
The Saturn key card. And the Earth key? I'm lost.
Santa cocked his head to one side, like an inquisitive bird, and looked at them. After several long moments, during which it became apparent that Santa had no idea what the cards meant, June took pity on him.
Don't you remember, Santa? On C deck, where we are now, there was a big elevator behind the stairs, remember? And next to the elevator, there was a card reader with the Saturn symbol on it.
Yep. I'm sure you guys remember it by now, if you've been watching.
And on A deck, on the door to the left,
Remember
there
that?
was a keyhole with the Earth symbol on it, I think.
Yes.
So the 2 keys that Jumpy has,
should let us use the elevator and the door on A deck. Huh.
Yes, that's right.
QED. June smiled, pleased with herself. So did Santa.
All right, I got it. Let's get started then. What do you say we split into 2 teams? Lotus and I will search the Earth one, so you 2 can search Saturn, all right?
Sounds good. Then you guys should take this key.
Junpei handed the Earth key to Santa. I wouldn't do that. I hold a lot of power if I have all the keys. They decided that their initial search should be brief.
We have no idea what's on the other side of these. So don't go too far. Just search for 10 minutes and come back.
Plan decided, the 2 teams split up. Not split it up, split up. Junpei and June headed for the elevators.
There's a card reader next to the left elevator.
Then let's try out the Saturn key card.
We're not going to go through this song and dance again, are we? A light on the upper left corner blinked to life.
Great! It looks like it's working now.
All right. Now, how do I call the elevator?
Push the button.
Oh, it only has the upside down triangle on it.
I guess there's no up button. Well, we may as well try pushing this one.
The door slid shut, and they heard the grinding of the motor as the elevator car moved down. Thank you for not making me go through that again.
It opened! Look, Jumpy!
June's voice was excited, but Junpei could hear a tinge of anxiety.
Sweet! It opened! Let's get going.
He grinned at June and stepped toward the open door. As he was about to set foot in it, he felt a hand on his arm.
Wait!
No! No, 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 we're not
What?
doing this again. Nope. She was afraid because the only elevator button pointed down. That meant, of course, that the elevator couldn't go any higher than the floor they were on. As he thought about it, Junpei realized he hadn't seen elevators on the A or B decks near the central staircase. All of which meant that the elevator could only convey them to the lower decks, which are flooded.
Come to think of it, the lower floor, D deck, is completely underwater. An elevator heading to a submerged floor. That is pretty scary. Hey, wait a minute. This elevator came up from somewhere under us, right?
Well, yes, I guess it did. It didn't open right away. There was a motor noise, like...
Yeah,
Yes.
So,
I'm just gonna skip this part, guys.
Hey! Where the hell did you guys go?
7?
Ah. Now they've seen the desecration of Snake. Ace was right behind him, and Clover was behind Ace, although she seemed to be hanging back.
What's wrong?
It looked as though there was something strange about them. 7 had the look of a man who'd seen a ghost. Ace was just as pale, and Clover looked as though she was only moments from passing out entirely. For a long moment, they simply stood there, looking at one another. Junpei looked around nervously, waiting for someone else to speak. No one did.
What
looked at 7.
happened?
What the hell kind of question is that?
7 was trying very hard to be angry, but something had shaken him. Hard. His shoulders were trembling, and his voice strained.
Snake was... Snake is...
Go ahead and say it. We all know what happened at this point. 7 couldn't finish. He just looked away, his face twisted by... Junpei wasn't sure what. Instead, Ace spoke. He took a deep breath, closed his eyes, and spoke.
Snake is dead.
Ugh, yeah, this is pretty awful. I feel like I'm gonna puke.
They didn't have to wonder where the body was. What was left of the body sat in a sea of blood.
Chances are he was killed the same way the ninth man was.
Seven lowered his voice, likely in an effort to keep Clover from hearing what he had to say. There were 4 other people in the room with Junpei and Seven. Ace, Santa, June, and Lotus. Seven looked at each one of them in turn and continued.
It's pretty straightforward. Not that hard to figure out how they did it. First, the killers got Snake to authenticate on the red to open door 3. Then they shoved him into it. Alone. And waited 9 seconds for the door to shut. Once that door shut, it was all over for Snake. But he didn't give up. He probably knew it wouldn't do him any good, but he probably ran into the shower room looking for the dead. It was a small chance, but it wasn't like he had anything to lose. Unfortunately, it didn't work. The detonator is only deactivated if everybody who Snake was the only one who went through the door. And then, 81 seconds after he was shoved in, that happened.
They heard a bell begin to ring. It was the clock at the central staircase.
It's 3 in the morning.
3 hours left.
That means...
Do you think...
Yeah, I think the next one...
Fuck.
Yeah,
You don't...
it's not...
You're right.
Let's...
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4... Alright, 7 pieces.
The pieces of paper they'd folded up lay on the ground next to Junpei's legs. Everyone had written on paper pulled from Junpei's notebook in an effort to put together a blind vote.
Just double checking, but everyone wrote their code name and a door number they want, right?
Yes, just like you told us earlier.
Can't believe we're voting here.
We need to make the whole thing fair, blah-de-blah. This is a complicated plan, you know. Hurry it up, Mr. I have a brilliant idea.
They decided it wasn't fair to simply ask everyone at once. That would allow people to force others to go through certain doors.
Yeah, quiet in the peanut gallery.
And he had a plan. It wasn't a plan he wanted anyone catching wind of, however, so he did his best to act calm as he began to open and read the pieces of paper.
Alright, let's open these up. The first one says... Ace requests door 1.
Yes, I do. Would you like me to explain why?
No, we don't have time for that. Sorry. Let's keep going. Next is Santa. He wants door 6.
Yeah, that's what I wrote.
Clover wants 1, Lotus wants 2, and 7 also wants 2.
Wait a minute. There is no way I'm going anywhere with the Elephant Man.
No, there'd be no point to the voting if we let people change their choices because of stuff like that.
But
Just give it up, Lotus. It's not like I want to hang out with some exhibitionist grandma.
I am...
So this was everyone's vote. Ace and Clover requested door 1. 7 and Lotus requested door 2. Santa and June requested door 6. Then the door I should choose is...
It took him less than a second to run the numbers. He opened the 7th piece of paper and spoke.
Okay, the last one is mine. I want to go through... My choice is door 1.
Hey, wait a minute there. You cheating?
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 I'm asking if you changed your number after you heard what doors we wanted.
No.
How could I do that? I wrote it down on the paper earlier.
Let me see that.
Sure, here.
Junpei shrugged and handed it to him. Santa examined it furiously. The others peered at it as well. Oh my. Although he'd never know it now, Santa had been justified in his suspicions. Junpei had switch papers.
I had 3 pieces of paper ready.
Ho ho ho! Well played, Junpei. Nice.
And I put the one with door 6 on it into the pot.
He put a small mark on it so that he would know which one was his.
I just needed to make sure I drew last. After I saw everyone else's result, I just chose whatever door I wanted.
Wow.
If the number I'd already put in matched, then I didn't have to switch the paper out. Well, what does it say?
He fought the urge to smirk.
You got lucky.
Santa snorted and tossed the paper aside, frustrated. Or am I the ultimate lucky student?
Very well. We've decided who will go through door 1. It will be Clover, Junpei, and myself.
1 + 4 + 5 = 10, and there we are.
Our only problem is the 2 remaining teams.
June and I want door 6.
Lotus and I want door 2.
That's not good. We can't open either of those doors with only 2 people.
Yeah, that's right.
Pig. You just wait and see. Calling me old. This is why men are such a pain in the ass. They're about as subtle as a brick.
And they're at it again.
Even after they separated at the staircase, Lotus was still muttering angrily to herself.
I'll see you later, June.
Jumpy.
Circumstances dictated that Junpei and June would have to part ways again, but this time it didn't sting quite so much.
Don't make that face. It'll be like what Seven said.
We aren't going to be split up permanently till we find door 9. We might get separated for a little while, but we'll see each other again. Otherwise, we won't be able to open door 9. That's how the nonary game works.
Seven's words took a weight off Junpei's shoulders and felt much better.
It'll be fine. I'll see you soon.
All right. See you later.
Junpei, Ace, and Clover headed towards A deck.
Here's A deck. It was the door on the left, right?
That should be it, yes.
Then here we go.
It opened, and they walked through.
It's just
There
as
it
Santa
is.
and Lotus said.
At the end of the hallway sat a door with a large, red 1 upon it.
A numbered door.
To the left of it, bolted to the wall, was the red.
There's the red. I'll go first.
Ace went first and waved his wrist over the scanner panel.
Now the 2 of you, if you would.
Junpei was next. Finally, listlessly, Clover lifted her arm. She leaned toward the scanner panel. The third asterisk clicked to life, shining brightly. Ace took hold of the lever.
Now.
He took a deep breath and turned to Junpei and Clover.
Are you ready? Shall I pull it?
We're as ready as we're ever going to be, Ace. Do it!
Yeah, anytime.
Clover said nothing. She nodded, little more than a lethargic twitch of the head.
Very well then. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
And it's open! Move it!
They stumbled into the room. Whoa!
Where is it?
Frantically, Junpei scanned the room. There it is. His eyes stopped on the device that would determine whether they lived or died.
There it is! Over there!
Next to the door they'd come through was the dead. As one, they ran to it. They put their hands over it as if they were fighting for it.
It stopped.
Yes, it did.
Junpei could feel his heart pounding against the inside of his ribs.
Whew. I don't believe I'll ever get used to that.
I'm not sure it's something I'd want to get used to. We should finish this game before imminent death becomes a normal thing.
I agree.
Now then.
Junpei looked around again, this time more slowly.
There's another door. Let's try opening it.
He took hold of the knob and easily, gently, pulled it open.
So, this is the wheelhouse?
He closed the door again and turned to Ace and Clover. He fixed each in turn with a meaningful stare, then spoke.
Ace, you investigate the wheelhouse next door.
Very well.
Clover, you're in charge of this room. Say something!
Seriously, frickin' say something.
Okay, I will.
Alright then, let's get started.
Once more into the breach, folks. Okay. Gonna call it a recording for now, guys. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying bringing it to you. My name is Cornestable6. I'm signing off for now. Take care.